Hello, beautiful friend. Welcome to your class on cultivating peace. So we're going to get into it. Originally, I just want to share this to my group and my business page. So I'm going to do that. Give me a little second. I originally was going to do a teaching on self-worth today, and then after the attacks on Ukraine, I felt that we really needed to have a teaching on cultivating peace. So that's what we're going to do. And if you are watching inside the Everyday Spirituality community or on my business page, I recommend you come to my personal page, because that's where I'm going to see comments and questions and can respond to you. If you're in the other spots, I will respond to you, but it'll be later. So, all right. Got those shared, and here we go. So before we begin, I have those last few spots still open in my Joyful Spirit coaching. If you are interested in finding out about that, or even if you'd just like to have one session or a reading, then head to my DMs and we'll talk about it. So let's get into it. When our peace is disrupted, or we see violence anywhere, right? We're seeing it obviously in Ukraine right now. And that affects us, right? It gets into the heart, it gets into your mind and body, because we're connected, because we're technologically connected and connected through the news, but we're also connected as a people and as humanity. When that happens, the first place to begin is with yourself. When we can cultivate peace within our own heart, within our own being, we can act from a much clearer, stronger place. So let me know if you're here with me and if this is making sense to you. I see Liz said thank you. You're welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Anyone else who's here, please let me know. And let me know if what I'm saying is getting through. So we first want to affirm ourselves for understanding, for having that response, right? The fact that our own peace gets thrown off by violent action means we're alive, it means we're human, and means we care. That's the first step to coming back to a peaceful state within. If we had no reaction, if we had no response, if we felt nothing, that would point to a much bigger issue within us. That's like a numbness and an absence of being in touch with ourselves and with spirit and with humanity. So having that first response and that first reaction is a good thing, and I want you to affirm that within yourself. We would be really lacking if we didn't have that. Okay, so I mentioned, if you saw the email I sent to invite you to this class, I do not have the answers to global peace immediately. I have answers for ourselves. I have answers for how we can cultivate peace within ourselves and how we can allow that to move and spread. So if you're here wanting me to give a solution for that, I don't have it. But I do have the ways in which we can do it for ourselves and then act in accordance with peacefulness within our hearts. So some people do have the answer for global peace. Those people who are in a position to act for global peace, we cultivate peace within and then send it out so that it may reach them. That's more or less the answer I have. So there are a few things to say. I also mentioned in a previous teaching that 3 of my guides, the pink lady, the blue lady, and the yellow lady, have been speaking very, very loudly to me. If you've seen these videos or been in session with me, you have definitely received their guidance, but they have been encouraging me to channel them more directly. And we'll see if that happens today, if they want to come through, if I'm ready to let them come through in that way today, maybe. But I know what they do want to say already is that, we may have heard that thoughts and prayers are meaningless, and that is not true. The problem is that when people say sending thoughts and prayers, they're not actually doing it. And of course, when we send thoughts and prayers, we want to back that up with action, right? It's a joint process where what we have within ourselves, we send out as a sacred desire and wish, and then we follow it up with action. And that is true for peace, and that is true for anything else that we wish to create in this world. So don't fool yourself into thinking that your prayers and your good intentions and your sacred wishes for this world are fruitless, because they absolutely are not. They absolutely are not. I read a local article, because here I am in Sebastopol, we have a sister city in Ukraine, and I was reading an article, I'll link to it when I'm done with this video, about the people in our sister city in Ukraine, and they were saying that all of the messages and photos and etc. of solidarity and support for them are deeply meaningful to them, and that helps keep them uplifted and supported. So those are prayers, right? That's a prayer with a backed up action. You wish for peace, you send your love to the people in danger, and then when they see that, they feel it, they receive that, right? So that's a perfect example of a prayer and an action put together. Sometimes we think these small things don't matter, but they really do. Okay, so the other thing to say, and I'm going to get us into like an actual practice in meditation to create peace within our hearts, but before I get into that, the peaceful actions we take right now, right here, within ourselves, within our day-to-day life, as we're moving through, as we're interacting with the people around us, with nature, with our pets, my cat's laying here on the floor, those matter too. Those send out peace, right? If you have peace in your heart and you go and you interact with the person, maybe someone in your family, or maybe someone that you're buying coffee from or whatever, and you act in a way that is loving and peaceful towards them, that enters into their being, their soul, their consciousness, and then they are more able to send that out to the next person. So it matters. It matters. It matters that you do these things. It matters what's in your heart and how you act. And these small actions are not as small as we might think. When we get confronted with massive violence like this, it's easy to start thinking that those small things are pointless and meaningless. and the three ladies are here, and they're confirming that those are massively meaningful, hugely meaningful, especially, always they're meaningful, but especially in times like this, especially in times like this. The other thing I want to say that they want to say is that in addition to the people being directly attacked in Ukraine, many of the Russian people do not support and believe in what's happening now. So that is really potent, and even as they are standing up against this action with the threat of violence towards them, with the threat of being imprisoned. And so not only do I believe it's good to send out our peace and love and compassion to those people in Ukraine who are being attacked, I think also to send out our love and peace and support to those people who are standing up to say they do not support, to all of us who say we do not support, but particularly those who are putting themselves in harm's way, to stand up for peace, right? It's a little bit of a wording change when you say, I stand against violence and war, of course, right? Saying I stand up for peace, love, compassion. I think that little change in wording matters. I also want to share with you, I pulled a few cards. I want to share this one with you. I pulled this card for us about peacefulness in this time. This is from the Starseed Oracle deck. The card I pulled is Star Bathing, Light Body, Transmission and Activation. So the message I received from this card, one, when you are feeling out of sorts, when you're losing peace within yourself, go outside and look at the night sky. The night sky, when you can see the stars, ladies again, when you can see the stars in the night sky, when you look up, that activates within us that feeling of global connection, that feeling, one, like of being a small part, but also being a part of something huge. And those two feelings together can bring a peacefulness and a wonder into our existence. So that's one thing. Especially when you're giving out your prayers and intentions and good wishes for humanity, if you can right now at this time go do it underneath the stars while looking up at the stars, that will help us move those prayers out in a good way. Okay, the other thing that wants to be said about prayers, I promise I'm going to get into this meditation. There's just a lot to say right now. When you are giving an intention out, or sitting with love and compassion in your heart, this is the pink lady speaking this. If you are doing it in a way that is like pleading and desperate, that is not exactly a prayer, I'm interpreting. It's not that that's a bad thing, and we all have our human emotions. We all get upset, we all get angry, we all get desperate sometimes, we all feel sad. And that is all fine. And meeting yourself and asking to be met by everyone else and by spirit in those emotions can help tend your own beautiful heart. But a prayer is more easily sent out into the vibration of humanity when you come at it from a place of sacred desire. So that's part of why we need the peacefulness in our heart to move those prayers out and to take action in a good way. Let me know if this is making sense. If you want me to say more about that, I can. But if you're understanding it already, then I will just continue on. I'm just going to wait a second or two to see if anyone has questions about that. Right, I don't see anything so far, so I'm going to go on. If you are in a place to do it, if you have the compassion and peacefulness and ability to do it, sending out your sacred intentions and your loving kindness and the peace within your heart to those who are not acting in peace, to those who right now have fear and violence in their hearts. If you can do it, do it. It matters. People who act in this way are deeply, deeply, deeply sick. And if you are in a state of anger and anxiety, and it makes you upset to do it, then don't do it. But if you can do it, then do it. And it does matter. It does matter. It does really matter. I want to be careful about saying these things because it's not a condoning of the action, and it's not a absolving of responsibility. It's not an act of injustice to send out our sacred desires to those who act in violent ways. It is, as I said, it is sickness. And if, imagine what has happened to them, what they've been in contact with to bring them to such a state. It doesn't mean they should do it. Some people have come in contact with very, very, very terrible things and moved in exactly the opposite direction. So this is not saying they're not personally responsible for violent actions. It is saying that if we can move from that place of peace and love and compassion, it does help heal the world. It helps heal all of us. All right. Let's get into the peaceful meditation. Are you ready? Okay, my beautiful friend, here we go. Tuning into your breath. Making space for allowing your breath to settle deep into your body. When we're fearful and anxious, our breath tends to come high in our rib cage. So one of the first steps to finding peace is to let your breath settle lower into your body. Just invite it, you don't have to push it. Notice if any parts of you shake or twitch or move in response to that deeper breath, and if they do, just let them do it. That's energy moving out of your body in a good way. We want to have a space of letting go. And sometimes when we let go, our body has physical reactions. And as you come into this deeper breath, envision the most beautiful seed that you can. See it in your mind. Turn it around in space. See its color and its pattern. This is the seed of peace. Right here, right now, you have created this seed of peace. And place this seed. Here's my cat, she wants the peace. Place this seed of peace into your own body. You can envision swallowing it if you like. I just like to envision putting it into my belly. The seed of peace. We exist in a time with so many seeds of war and violence, so let us cultivate the seed of peace. This seed of peace, now within you, give this seed water and light and love and attention so that it sprouts. See it sprouting within, growing vibrant and lush and beautiful. Expanding out through your body, moving in such a way that as you go about your day, your actions, your thoughts, your words, your feet on the earth are filled with this peace. Maybe your seed has all sorts of different colors as it sprouts and grows. See this peace growing in your hands so that everything you touch today, every gesture you go and move through, every interaction in which your hands are involved, also send out this peace. Imagine now your seed of peace has grown, sprouted, is moving throughout your body, infusing you with a state of peacefulness, and now it flowers. And in this flowering, seeds form. And the blossoms drop, and now you have millions of seeds of peace to send throughout the world. Every email you write, every text you send, you have infinite seeds of peace. This tree is ever growing. Every communication has this seed of peace within it. Can you feel how the more of us that do this, the more peace spreads throughout the world? Can you envision your hand full of the seeds of peace and scattering them throughout the entire planet, scattering an extra handful in Ukraine, scattering an extra handful in Russia, scattering an extra handful in your own heart where you need peace the most. Scattering an extra handful in your own neighborhood where your neighborhood needs peace the most, where your community needs peace the most. Let yourself relax into peacefulness. Feel any places in your body that would like support and gentleness and ease, and let them have it. Coming from a state of relaxed peacefulness is incredibly powerful. Oh, I gotta plug in my computer so I don't lose you. Okay. Yeah, coming into relaxed peacefulness more fully. When you take your actions from this place, the seeds of peacefulness grow more easily. When you meet your anger and your sadness and your upset and your anxiety and your fear from this place, both of these things can coexist in you at the same time. But when you meet those parts of you with this part of you, you are more fully healed. And then you can go meet those parts of everyone else from this place. There is a little self-worth message in here after all. You are worthy of peacefulness, just as every person, every being, every thing, I don't like that word, but I don't have a better word right now. Every essence on this planet is worthy of peacefulness. There is nobody, no spirit, no being, no essence that is not worthy of peacefulness. You are worthy of peacefulness. Everyone you know is worthy of peacefulness. Everyone you don't know is worthy of peacefulness. So as you continue your day, as we continue this week, this month, this year, I invite you to come back to this practice anytime you need, every time you need. Whatever happens, whatever doesn't happen, you can find this place. You always have the opportunity to let your breath settle. Sometimes it's easier than others, but it's never gone from you. All right. So with that, I invite you to open your eyes if you've had them closed like I have. And let me check if anybody has any questions, comments that I can answer and help you with, or any reactions if anybody has anything to say about our practice. I'll stay here for a minute or so just to see if anyone needs anything, if anyone has anything to say. Uh-oh, put myself on again. Alright, I don't see anything so far. So while I wait, while I wait and see if there's anything else to say, I want to deeply thank you for engaging in this practice, whether you're doing it right now live with me or you come back to this at a time when you can fully, you might be at work or something and driving, which obviously you wouldn't do it then, but if you come back to it at another time, anytime you do this, you have my deep thanks for creating this peace within you and then to spread out. And not only my thanks, but Spirit's thanks. Again, they affirm how important and meaningful this is, how meaningful prayer is, how meaningful intention is when you are actually doing it. It's not for nothing. Alright, so I'll remind you again that I still have a few spots open for my Joyful Spirit one-on-one coaching. This is where we would spend regular time together in session over a 3-month period, which includes things like we just did, meditations, healings, etc. You heal yourself, by the way. I show you the way, but you do the healing. And also, we talk about like what's personally important to you, what your goals are, where you want to go. And I give you accountability and sacred support in that. So these sessions include all of that. They do include intuitive guidance from Spirit. I almost cannot not do that. But they might include, cards, tarot cards or oracle cards. They might include channeling. They could include a whole host of things. So if you have gotten something out of this and you want to continue that work with me, head to my DMs and tell me you're interested. You can say Joy, you can say I'm interested, whatever works for you. Thank you so much, and I will see you all again soon.